Hi, it's Claudia Velaza, the fashionista. Welcome back to this luxurious applique series. This is part 3 where we're going to be working on the fringe. Right here I have one of my appliques. As you know, I'm going to be applying these to my sleeves, and I had measured out that it will be required 6 motifs. So as you see, there's 6 motifs, and you just have to decide for whatever you're trying to do, whether you're adding it to a sleeve or to a hem. I'm not really sure, but you will have to decide how many motifs do you need. So for my project, I need 6, and so it's already been blocked. I'm going to be doing a blocking video, if you don't know what that is. And it's just where you're going to just make sure the measurements are correct, and that's just requiring some stretching. But I'll do one. It'll be either in my description box or somewhere in my channel. I don't have that many videos, so it'll be easy to find. The materials and tools that you will need is going to be yarn. I did an estimate in part 1. I'm not sure what exactly that was, but that estimate you'll have to give or take to the amount depending on what you're trying to achieve. And in addition to that, you're going to need a pair of scissors and also a hook, a crochet hook that's large enough to hold 3 strands of yarn at one time. So for our fringe, we're going to need a piece of cardboard to cut that all out and make sure they're all the same length. And I did 5 inches by 10 inches, and it's just a nice length for what I was achieving. So whatever you decide, if you want it longer or shorter. And in addition to that, you have to cut a short slit in one of the ends of the cardboard. That's the long side of the cardboard that you want to cut that in. Now here, I'm just starting out by wrapping my yarn, and I'm just going to wrap it around as many times as I can, that it'll be comfortable enough for me to cut with a pair of scissors. And you will see why. You just want just enough. You just don't want to go all the way down the board. Just enough that's doable, and it might take trial and error to figure that out, but I think depending on how thick your yarn is, that would determine that. But if you have yarn that's about my thickness, then do about that much. Okay. And as you see here, I'm making sure that I end with the yarn, the tail of the yarn is on the end where the slit is at. Okay, and now I'm cutting. You see how it's a little difficult, so that amount is pretty much the amount that you want to cut at one time. And so I will repeat this over and over again until I have all of the yarn that I need for all my tassels that I'm going to need along my applique. And there goes my hook. I didn't show it to you guys, but it's pretty large because it needs to be able to hold 4 strands of yarn at one time. I stand corrected. I did 4 strands of yarn at one time. And so you're just going to fold it, bringing the ends together, and you want to insert your hook, might be a little difficult or tight, into a stitch, and you want to do that from the back of the applique. So insert from the back of the applique, and you put your yarn on there, and you hold it between your index and your middle finger and pull it the hook through, and then you're going to yarn over, making sure you keep all of those yarns on there, and then you're going to draw it through that loop that's on the hook, and there you have it. You have your first tassel. You just pull it a little to make sure it's secure. And now we're going to, from this forward, we're going to go every other stitch. So we're going to skip a stitch and insert the hook from the back to the front in the next stitch. And we're going to grab our 4 pieces of yarn and fold it in half. Put it on that hook, hold it between your index and middle finger, yarn over after we pull through, right? Pull through. You guys can see that. So every other stitch is what we're doing. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the beginning I didn't put it in the corner of the square, but in the end I decided it would look better to have it on the corner, so I added a tassel after I had finished for the end of the applique. So here's just another example. And I also wanted to say that you, with the cardboard, you need to make sure that whatever length you do decide you want a certain end length, you have to take into account that there's going to be some folding, and I mean, you know, you're doing that looping, and that's going to take up some of the length. So you need to put that into account, whatever inch you decide. So we're going to just keep on going down every other, and I just want to show you how we do it with the corner of the square, because you know we have those corners where there's chain 3, and it gets a little tricky there. So I'll be back when we get to that corner. Okay, so now we're going to add fringe to that corner, which is a chain 3, and it's a little tight because we have a big hook, but we're going to have to wiggle it into one of those chains. I find that's like the most securest way, instead of just looping it around the chain. You just don't want to have that chance of it loosening up. So insert the hook from the back to the front, and grab your 4 strands of yarn, fold it in half, hold it between your index and middle finger, pull through yarn over, being careful to hold all those yarns, pull through again, and there is your tassel added to your corner, your chain 3. And then you have your next chain 3, and you're going to do the same thing. Find a chain that's an equal distance, so it can look symmetrical or even with all the other tassels that are going down the applique. So you see I'm kind of having to wiggle there. It's a little tight, but I get it on there, and just repeat the same thing, folding it in half and pulling it through. And that's our end product. Isn't that beautiful? And this is what you will achieve at the end of all that. And then I will repeat this again for my other end. So I hope that you found that helpful. Stay tuned for part 4 where I figure out how to lay it onto my sweater. So please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.